So I woke up, I don't know, maybe 3:30 in the morning. I'm still laying in bed. Didn't even sit up. You know, just wanting to fall back asleep. I didn't, I went to bed pretty early, because I had an early morning. Didn't take any kind of a nap. And when you're dealing with, a personal crisis and you gotta take really good care of yourself. Sleep and eating and drinking and just the basic needs are real important. And I did do that, and I'm proud of myself for that. I really didn't, but I when you find yourself really alone physically in a place that's not home, and you don't have really any means to, you know, get out and feel free, because it's not like I can just get out and walk around. I've have problems with my feet. I've had a lot of problems with my feet. And they have felt better here. Excuse me. Which is great. But and I can finally take showers here, which is a blessing. At home I can't take showers. It's so dry in Colorado that all of my conditions have made showers almost hell for me, because you would think water being it's moisture, right? And that's what you need, but actually water can be very, very drying. And I've tried everything, putting filters on my shower head, and I'm really careful with what soaps, if at all, I use. But you need to clean yourself, and you need to scrub, and especially when you're flaking and got dead skin, and it kind of grosses me out sometimes. It's like and I need to scrub my feet and take care of my feet, because I'm diabetic and have lost a lot of feeling in my feet due to neuropathy because of it, and because at different times in my life, I've had a really hard time controlling my blood sugar, which is why another reason why, when things are tough and you feel like grabbing for that Coke, like, the other day, or the cheesecake that wasn't my cheesecake that I would normally make at home, that's healthy for me, you know. I didn't bring my monitor with me either, which, I wouldn't have taken it anyway, but so it's hard to, when you do love yourself enough to stay away from certain things like that you know is damaging to your health, and so you don't have any, vices to kind of lean back on. I don't smoke, and I don't do any kind of drugs except for my meds, and that I don't want, to interact any of those things. Marijuana doesn't, I've tried medical marijuana, and I've tried a lot of variety of different things like that would hopefully help with sleeping or help with anxiety, but it doesn't help, or it would help for a little while and then fizzle off. And I love alcohol. That would be great for me to stay with. Of course, sometimes it's a hit or miss. It's like sometimes, but that's the last thing that you should be going after as a drink, because for a lot of reasons. I mean, it is just another vice. Um, as a diabetic, it's the worst thing in the world that you can put in your body. If you're sad and depressed, or have issues with depression and anxiety, that's the last. It's a depressant. It's the last thing that you need to be putting in there. But I totally understand why people grab it. And for a while I really had a problem with it. Um, just like so many other people in this country, because it's normalized, and we accept it, and it helps. You're self-medicating, and there's so many things in that we can grab to help to self-medicate. And and I haven't really tried alcohol in a really long time, and that's the one thing I think this interaction that I had with my friend was hard, because and I knew it, because he's an alcoholic, and I guess I've always tried to be there for him because of that. And he's functioning, which is not pushing him to get the help that he needs. And I don't need that in my life. I haven't. I deserve better as a friend and a romantic partner, or a partner, a confidant, whatever. It's I deserve better than that, and I need somebody that's healthy, that's in my life. But it's kind of it. But at the same time, it's sad that so many people in this country just, or maybe around the world. I mean, I've traveled internationally a lot, so I see a lot of the same things with self-medication, but it's not like I have a lot of experience abroad and haven't lived abroad. So I can really only talk about the culture that I come from and my experiences, right? I can only speak to that. But anyway, woke up at 3:30 and just laid here. And that's what's hard. You become raw, and your brain, it just kind of circles like this. It just circles around, and for me, I relive things, or my memories will bounce around, and it's almost like I'm my trauma and my excuse me. There's so many different things that kind of bounce inside of your body. I don't know if anybody else feels like this. It's like these things kind of bounce inside your body. It just has no way of getting out. I guess that's why I decided to do this vlog. Because I know other people are feeling the way I feel, and I want to commend so many of the younger generations for being so open about their anxiety and their depression and how they feel. I respect that, and their openness, especially, and there's certain celebrities, the younger generation, of talking about how much they have had to, how odd they feel. And I guess what I haven't really seen much and has, I said I don't relate to the younger generation because I'm not young. I'm 50, so, and so many people in my generation just push it down and push it down and swallow it. So, and I don't know, I guess I thought that since I didn't see anybody that I could relate to. I mean, I know that people of my generation talk about it, but it's all wrapped up in a nice, pretty bow, or in some feature film, or independent film, or you hear about it after someone has left, struggled with depression and taken their own life, or died of a drug overdose, or I don't know. I need to see somebody. I need someone that's real and honest and open about, how it sucks being human in this day and age, It really sucks. It's very hard being human. One of my friends, who I miss dearly, I don't get to see him. See, that's just it. I have friends, but I don't feel like I do because they're all gone. They're all moved away. But anyway, a good friend at one time that I remember reaching out to him at one point, and he says, "It's so hard being human, Misty." And I never really thought about that until he said that or texted it. Even us old gals and guys, and I'm not old by any means. I feel it though. Gosh, we get into the texting too, and I just wish somebody would pick up the phone. And then with all of our insecurities, FaceTiming, I don't know. It's just, I don't even know. I'm like sitting here thinking, what am I even talking about? I was trying to capture kind of what I was feeling, and I guess mainly because it's like, okay, should I go back to sleep, or what do you do at 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning when you're away from home and don't have your dogs to cuddle with? Because that's all I can think about right now is that, wow, if I'm missing my Motley and my Sheila. Bella doesn't cuddle, but I can lay down with those two dogs next to me and even sandwich in the middle of them. Sheila's big dog, 70-something pounds, and she'll just spoon, she'll just lay right in front of you. We as humans really need to be touched. That's something else we don't really talk about on an intimate level. Nothing to do with sex or any kind of, romantic feeling at all. Just having that intimacy with another human being. And an intimacy in and of it's, that word is connotes sexual activity or whatever. And I'm talking about deep human connection. Like when you hug your granddaughter, and that there's just that innocent, unconditional love that she gives you. and or, petting a kitty cat, or, for some people it's cats, or, really good friend that can hold your hand or give you a hug or just lay down with you and stroke your back and let you know things are going to be okay. Because I understand pets aren't for everyone for a variety of reasons, but, whether it's, that. But for me, since I don't have a spouse or a partner and have been single in that regards for so long, because I've chosen, I've chosen that. Where it's been, it's difficult to have that type of a relationship. It's a lot of work when you're still working on yourself, And when you've failed in relationships so many times, you're like, oh. Well, and it's not necessarily my failure either. I guess we always go there. But what I'm trying to say is that when you're going through crisis, it really helps to have something around you that can, you can reach out and hold. I've noticed that there's so many different options. These like weighted blankets to help with anxiety or comfort, and that doesn't work for me. I feel claustrophobic, and I feel muddled. Holding on to a stuffed, one of the things is stuffed animals. I had stuffed animals as a child, and ones that one in particular that I had taught for a very, very long time. Snoopy. I loved my Snoopy. Did any of you have something like that, like a security blanket or a stuffed animal or, but Snoopy was my jam, I don't know. I'm just into that little saying. I'm sorry if it bugs everybody. It's my jam. One of the YouTubers I watch, she's so sweet. She's used that term, and I think I picked it up because it's not something I normally say. But Snoopy was it for me. And in fact, so much so that his nose was coming off and his collar was all ragged, and he was not white anymore. He's Snow White, right? Snow White, and he was not white anymore, and he could not be washed. And I'm talking like 8. I was 8, and about 8 years old, and I remember my mom buying me a new one and trying to switch it out. And it's interesting thinking back that I did not want that new one. I liked the one I had. And I don't know how Mom was able to really transition me to that new one, that new one. Anyway. And so I find that I'm okay when my granddaughter leaves me a few stuffed animals in my bed. It's okay. And then there's weighted animals now, weighted stuffed animals that you can, heat up, or they've got those kind of beads that you can, that you can kind of cradle with, and they can be comforting too. I think whatever it is that you can find that makes you feel better, that isn't reaching for a drink or a smoke or a bad relationship, is you do what you do what you can. And so here I was thinking, well, I don't have that. I think that's why I drank the damn Coke. Although I didn't last night. I was so proud of myself. I'm like, Misty, you just, it's killing your body. And and I haven't had, I have not had soda in so long. I wouldn't even have bought it had it not been for my friend bringing it, And so, and then what makes a person like buy things for someone else, like, and I'm talking about like with food or even like with alcohol. It's like you're not going to partake of it yourself. You would never ever buy a cheesecake or buy um alcohol. Of course, I didn't buy alcohol this time at all. Yeah, I did. I bought some prosecco. But so I take that back. Because I don't buy those things at home. I don't keep them. Because that's one habit that I have formed for quite a few years, that if I don't buy it and it's not around me, then when I'm struggling, I'm not going to reach for it, right? It's not going to be there. It's not available to me. Because then you have to really make a conscious decision of whether you're going to get up, get dressed, get in the car, and go get it, right? And or order it online. And so it's easy to just scrap for what you did, It, um, and so I don't care who you are. Sugar's the devil as much as alcohol is. It's like, it's just another vice to stick in your body to make you feel better. I thought I put on some music, and that was a bad decision because Jelly Rolls Saved Me and I turned it on because you know how sometimes we're self-deprecating and maybe we want to listen to some sad music and cry or try to do something. But it puts you in a bad place too. You have to be really careful. I appreciate that music. There's a place for it for me, but not right now. And I was smart that I thought, okay, I'm going to turn this off and I'm just going to vlog because it's honest and it's real, you know? And maybe instead of tunneling down into a hole of depression or sadness or struggle, maybe, maybe this will help this time, and I say this whether or not I even post it or not. I hope I do because, this is us, right, folks? This is the way we look in the middle of the night when we're struggling. So, and boy, I have to tell you that as far as this experiment of seeing whether or not physically this place helps, I sure had some bad pain last night before bed in my toes. And oh my gosh, yeah, I was like, where's my lyric? No. And the shower wasn't as comforting as it has been in the past. I took a dang quick one, but I felt it at least it warmed me up. Because even though you've got the humidity, in the stick, and when it's in the like 50s, 60s, it still can be chilly, right? And so it's not like you're in a sauna or anything. And this house really doesn't have much sun that comes in to kind of warm it up during the day. Anyway, so the shower was mainly to kind of warm me up and get under the covers, and I love the bed. The bed is wonderful, but the covers are too heavy, and there's nothing in the middle, between a sheet and the duvet, and the duvet is a little bit too heavy, and I'm like, oh gosh. So you start to sweat, and then if it's humid, it's not a fun, or cool, and it's not a fun sweat. So you're like, anyway. So it's been kind of a struggle trying to regulate my temperature tonight. I'm trying to stay hydrated. So not only was I noticing the pain in my toes, but yeah, I'm croaky, and coffee, just like I am at home. Not as bad, and probably wouldn't because of the humidity. And I started wondering, wonder if I just need to maybe figure out some really good humidifiers at home. I mean, I have a humidifier next to my bed, Cool Mist one that I love, but it's really hard to keep humidity in the house. And just recently we were, my daughter, sweetheart, put on big thing of water on the stove and slowly simmered it. And we had some. She thought she just put a potpourri together because we had like an orange and an orange and a lemon, I think, and a couple of things that were just going bad. And so she kind of put a little potpourri together, cinnamon stick and some cloves, and oh, it was wonderful. And I'm like, I'm so conscious with keeping with energy use, since that's my background, and I'm like, but that's the only way I can get a lot of humidity into the air sometimes. Anyway, so yeah, my feet last night hurt. My toe, one of my toes right now is killing me. My throat is all cracky, whatever, croaky. And I ended up sleeping on a little bit on my right side, and so I kept having pain, and even so sitting up and keeping this away from a pillow, and because gravity hits me, with trigeminal neuralgia, just anything, and so sometimes, so I can't sleep on that side, on my right side, which is my usual way of sleeping most of my life, and so and then I'm constantly trying to make sure that my hair's out of my way, but just the gravity, the feeling of gravity on your face. So if you're laying on your right side and your cheek, and just that is hard. And I'm hoping that I'll get more folks with trigeminal neuralgia, that because it is a rare disease, and it's becoming more popular. You hear about it a lot more, but it's also it's misdiagnosed. It's kind of been the go-to, like lately. My neurologist has complained a lot about it. I see so many patients these days that their doctors just, that's what you have, because they can't explain what they've got, or they're not doing a deeper dive of what the root cause of their myofascial pain is, and he's like, this can be fixed, or this could be. And so I'm glad there's good neurologists out there that can help people, and I wouldn't want anybody in the world to ever have this diagnosis at all. But anyway, so the pain hasn't been the greatest either. I'm sore and a little achy. So that doesn't help my mood. So I kept thinking, well, what do I do, what do I do? I don't know. My face felt really, really dry, so I put some moisturizer on my face. My poor mouth. I feel so bad for my mouth, It's so dry and achy and cracked, and so I put some lip balm on. I'm drinking some water. So no music, because I'm thinking of just putting on a TV program or some sort of program, and just what helps me too, and maybe that's why so many folks go to YouTube, is just trying to. I binge watch different YouTubers, so like people that make me feel good. So there's different individuals out there that I like to watch and listen to. Now is not the time to look to watch anything kind of sad or depressing, right? You know, but you don't want energetic and poppy. And I'm like, oh, I can't handle that either. So it's like, so sometimes it's just watching. And since crochet has been such a big part of my life, and fiber arts, knitting, and that's it's not a hobby for me. I used the word hobby the other day, and when I went back and re-listened to it, I'm like, I shouldn't have said that, because it's more than that for me. It also really connects me to my grandmother. My grandmother is the one who taught me to crochet when I was really little, and it was something that we shared, and she was so good at it. But that's not working here. I was talking to a girlfriend last night, well, texting, because she's been checking in on me, and she says, well, how's that going? How's your cardigan going? It's not going. Oh, I know you're and she was like, she was so sweet. She was so empathetic. She's like, oh, I know how much you love to crochet and design, and you must be kind of a struggle. And I'm like, yes, I'm struggling. I says, that's why I kind of wanted the car. I wanted to go